Welcome to the Leverage Show. Get more from your business and your life. Be sure to share your business questions and challenges with me at leverageshow.com so I can answer them for you on a future episode. Today, I want to share with you the fastest way to grow your business when you're a solopreneur. Now, if you work alone, maybe you have outsourcers and maybe you have other people that work with you from time to time, but basically your primary business is you are the chief cook and bottle washer. You do everything. It's just your business. You have no employees and no partners. And it applies, by the way, if you have that stuff too, but it's especially important what I'm about to share with you if you are a solopreneur who's sort of on your own, working out of your house, or these kinds of things. And the fastest way to grow your business is something that, if you're like me anyway, you're very resistant to and wouldn't be something that you would intuitively think is a good use of your time. Because the reality of it is, you have so much to do, you have so little time, so you want to really focus your time on what's most important to get done. And so you're busy doing the things that need to be done, and you're transacting business. But the interesting thing is, and just to take a step back here so you understand where I'm coming from, that's been my business model for years. And so I can speak very clearly about this with a lot of experience. For the last 10 years, 9 years anyway, I've been a solopreneur, and I have other people that work for me, but they're not employees. So I don't have any employees. And there's a couple of things that come into play, and they have nothing to do with success. Whether you're successful or not, whether you're making money or whether you're still working your way up or you're struggling or whatever the case is, there's one sort of aspect of being alone that is tough, and that is you are walled off from everybody else. We're connected by social media in ways that we never were in the past, but at the same time, we have the number of meaningful relationships we have are actually far fewer. And so the number one activity that I've found in the last 10 years has been the most effective at being able to grow my business, both from the perspective of getting new ideas, from the perspective of leveraging, from the perspective of getting an understanding of business in large and the industry, instead of being stuck in my own shell, is to go to conferences in your particular industry. So if there is any sort of conference or event where other people that are solopreneurs like you get together in one place, it's invaluable to go to. Now, I know all the excuses. I'm really busy. I have a lot of stuff that I've got to do, so I just don't have time. It's going to cost a lot of money. I've got to fly somewhere. I've got to get a hotel room. It's just a total pain. I've got difficulty in scheduling. I have kids at home, a spouse that works. I have no way that I can get out for all of this amount of time. I don't know anybody, so when I get there, it's going to be really awkward and uncomfortable. I don't really know what to expect. Okay, I understand all that stuff. I've said all that stuff myself. So here's the truth, and it's important you take this at face value, because I will tell you this beyond the shadow of a doubt, goes far beyond just me. I know a lot of other people that were in my same situation that attribute going to events as their watershed moment, where that's where they went from this to this with the growth of their business. And here's why these excuses don't matter. First of all, if you need to go for less than the whole duration, do it. I'm actually heading out to an event this weekend. It goes for 4 days. I can only be there for 2. Second of all, if you are, sort of crafty, you can get better airfares and things like that if you start looking early. And the benefit, even if you don't know anybody, what you need to understand is that 75% of the room doesn't know anybody either. You're going to get there and there are going to be some people shaking hands and giving hugs that know each other. And that's totally fine. But just, in that audience, there are a bunch of other people that are also in the same situation you're in. They don't know anybody. They're trying to meet people. But here's why it's so important. You start to establish relationships at these events. They're very social. No matter what industry you're in, it's not all just work. They'll have seminars during the day. And by the way, the seminars, while there's decent information, even if you totally skip that, you can get more than your value in just meeting one or two people if they're the right people. So here's what you want to do. Don't worry about sitting up in the front row and rapidly writing down notes that every speaker is spewing out. Instead, you want to connect with other people. Get yourself out of your comfort zone. And at the lunch breaks, the dinner breaks, the mixer or whatever social events, the happy hours, if you need to have a drink or two to loosen up, that's fine. But a great way to approach other people is just to go up to them, introduce yourself, and then you basically ask them what they're currently working on. It's a total icebreaker. They're going to open up to you and share what they're working on, and then they're going to turn around and share and ask you the same thing, because that's sort of how conversations work. But here's the value in it. There's going to be a bunch of people you meet that at this exact moment can't really help you, and you can't really do a lot for them either, and that's fine. But even if you meet 2 or 3 important people, it can take your business to a whole nother level. And here's why. You can find out from them how they tackle the biggest business challenges you have. Instead of just going and meeting people over a drink and talking about the Patriots or talking about the Red Sox or whatever sport or team you're into, you start with that. You make the small talk, but then you ask them, hey, I have a question for you. I've found that my email marketing open rates are only at about 5%. What are you getting for your email open rates? Oh, I'm getting 5% too. Okay, great. You learn one of 2 things. They either validate what you're already getting, or they go, oh, well, I'm getting 12%. Oh, you are? Well, what are you doing? Like, what's your approach to email marketing? People love to share. You can gain valuable insight about every functional area of your business because there's somebody in that room that's doing it better than you are. So not only can you make all these procedural and process-based changes, but the relationships you make. You could stay in touch with these people by Skype. You could partner with them on future products and launches and marketing ideas, marketing campaigns. Ask people, have you ever done successful Facebook advertising? Where do you get your traffic from? How do you bolster your conversions? How do you measure this stuff? What do you do for, social media marketing? People will tell you everything that you want to know. How do you handle customer support? It's amazing the amount of information that I've picked up at these events. And I've been able to go out there and totally re-engineer my business within a few months of an event and have it running so much more smoothly. You'll learn about products you never heard of. You'll learn about outsourcing sources you never heard of, different email marketing methods, social media marketing methods, product development methods. And here's where it gets really exciting. If that's all you did, if you didn't go to any of the events, seminars, any of the workshops, and all you did was meet a handful of people and learn how to improve 3 or 4 functional areas of your business, it's worth 3 times the cost of going there. But here's where it gets really exciting. You exchange information with those people and you stay in touch. And if there's anybody that you have synergy with, where there's a really good, yeah, I'm an expert at marketing, but man, I stink at product development. And you happen to be the opposite. Now you've got synergy there. That's somebody that, and you can do it right at the event, but certainly if you stay in touch with them, hey, would you be interested in partnering on a launch maybe? Doing a product together that we could do and that we can launch. And so you do the marketing side and I will do the product development side. We'll talk about it. We'll break down what our tasks are going to be and our responsibilities. And you can build your business. I know of no less than 10 to 15 A-list marketers, 7 and 8 figure earners, that every single one of them says that the reason that they reached the level they did, or at least as fast as they did, is because they built relationships at events. There's nothing that replaces a face-to-face relationship. When you're JV partnering, when you are cross-promoting, that's where all of these relationships are built. They're built at the happy hour. They're built in small talk. They're built in offhanded conversations where you say you're an expert at SEO, this guy's a product development person, and you just met someone else who knows him and says, hey, John, I don't know if you met Sally. I didn't realize this, but you're looking for a way to build traffic and you're looking for a way to build products. This stuff happens all the time. And as soon as you go to the first one and you meet a few people and you get comfortable with the process of meeting people, it becomes so easy. All the future ones, you're going to see some old familiar faces. You just have to be willing to get out of your comfort zone. You can't go and just sit in a seat and take notes about all the event things. That stuff isn't worth a tenth of the value you're going to get from talking to other people in your exact situation, doing what you're doing, and being successful with it. That's where the real gems are. That's where the money is. And really, just to put this in the terms where I can sort of slam it home for you, let me just tell you that I now have a business partner, and he's in the UK, and the two of us have worked together now on our last few product launches, and I can tell you I'm doing a lot less work than I was, and our results are astronomically better. And it's the same exact thing for him. And why? Because we can both focus on what our strengths are. We knew each other online kind of a little bit, but we met at an event, and it was 6 months ago. In 6 months, my complete business has absolutely exploded because of this. And it's so important to understand that, because I'm not just one story. I've heard countless people get up on stage and do their presentation and tell the exact same story. And when you're sitting in the office, in the audience, you think to yourself, yeah, right. Well, if I could meet that guy too. But they were nobodies when they met each other. It's not like they were all wildly successful. You don't need to meet the most important guy in the room or the most, influential lady in the room to be successful. It can be somebody who's sort of anonymous like you, if that's where you're coming from. And you can still build a multi-million-dollar relationship by doing it and be a lot happier in the process. The more connected you are to people in your industry, the more successful you're going to become. And it's ironic and counterfactual, because what we think as solopreneurs is we have to put our head down and just keep grinding. And when in fact the opposite is the truth. Because the more you do the other stuff, the less you need to do the stuff you're doing right now. Your job gets easier, you work less, and you make more. And isn't that what it's all about? So take that to heart. Look up conferences in your industry and get your butt out to one, regardless of what it takes. Take the plunge and tell yourself before you go, I'm going to meet 10 people that when I come home, I know they can help me build my business and I can help them. Give and receive. Don't just be there looking for people to give you information. Share what you do well as well with them, and you'll be surprised how much more you know than what you think you know. Because when you give them something and the light bulb goes off, you'll be amazed at how important your base of knowledge is as well. Now remember, like, share, and subscribe. And if you have a question, post it at leverageshow.com so I can answer it for you on a future episode. And until next time, make it happen.